Okay, so in the given condition wave optics, optics is being divided into two parts. One is geometrical optics, another is of your wave optics. Condition for geometrical optics is b square must be very greater than of your lambda L, or b square by L into lambda I must be greater than or very greater than of your 1. What is the b? I told you b is nothing but size of your interacting objects, lambda is the wavelength of your light, and L is the distance between the object and as well as of your screen. Now, if I'm going for the wave optics, the condition for the wave optics is b square by L into your lambda. B square by L into your lambda must be very lesser than of your 1, must be lesser than of your 1 part of relation. That must be very lesser than of your 1. Is that condition clear for me? I'll tell you the proofs of this one in the further sections, but right now remember the given conditions right now. Now what is the B representing? You see right now here, lambda is right now, lambda is nothing but wavelength of light. Wavelength of your light. What is the B? B is your size of interacting objects or size of your objects. That objects can be, it can be either lens, it can be either a mirror, it can be either a prism, or it can be either a slit, anything. That might be the size of your object. Whereas L is nothing but here. What is L I'm taking right now? L is right now distance between object and screen. L is the distance between object and as well as of your screen. For geometrical optics, b square divided by L into lambda should be very greater than 1, or b square by L into lambda must be very lesser than of your 1. That are the basic conditions for your geometrical optics particulation. The proofs of this one I'll try to do it in the further sections, but right now just as an introductory point, if someone asks you what are the conditions for the geometrical optics and wave optics, means b square by L into lambda must be very greater than 1, and b square by L into lambda must be very lesser than 1 for your wave optics. Lambda is your wavelength of light, b is your size of your object. The size of an object can be either the lens, it may be either object, it may be either prism, or it may be a slit, anything. And L is the distance between the object and as well as of your screen particle. And one more small thing you need to revise from your first year chapter, that is nothing but of your relation between the path difference. This knowledge is also very much required for understanding the wave optics. That is relation between path difference and path difference is represented by delta x, and phase difference represented by delta phi. I hope in the first year you might have been remembered this relation in the SHM chapter, relation between your path difference and as well as of your phase difference. Because light we are considering as of your wave nature, so we need to understand exactly what exactly is of your wave. Like say for example, if I am considering a wave moving in your positive x-axis, this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis, and if a wave is been moving in this one, so this is the motion of your wave. Okay. Equation of this wave is given by the formula in the wave motion chapter. Y is equals to a into your sine omega t plus or minus of your k into your x. In the first year also you might have been learned about this one. If it is moving in the positive x-axis, you use negative. If it is moving along the negative x-axis, you take it as negative. That means if I am writing here right now, if it is moving along your positive x-axis, the equation will become for me y is equals to a into sine omega t minus of k into x. If it is moving in negative x-axis, opposite case beta, so y will be equal to your a into sine omega t plus of your k into your x. This also will try to do in detail in a chapter called as of your sound waves or wave motion chapter. But right now remember, from the simple harmonic motion, when a wave is been traveling, the wave equation is given by the formula y is equals to a into sine omega t plus or minus kx. If it is moving in a positive x-axis, we write it as y is equals to a into sine omega t minus kx, and if it is moving in the negative x-axis, we write it as y is equals to a into sine omega t plus k into your x. I have not entered into the chapter beta. I'm just revising some of the topics of an SHM which are very much required for understanding this chapter particulation. isn't it? Now see here right now, if I'm talking about the relations between them, I hope you remember the relations between them better. The first relation, if you might have been seen right now there, phase difference delta phi is equals to your 2 pi by lambda into your delta x. This is also written as of your phi is equals to your k into your x part of relation. This is one relation. And another relation also you know right now, delta phi is equals to your 2 pi by your capital T into your delta t. Or else I'll write this one as of your phi is equals to your omega into t part of relation. So these are the some of the relations if you might have been remembered in your first year part of relation between the angular velocity and phi, and k is nothing but what, propagational constant, and the value of the k is 2 pi by lambda, and omega value is nothing but of your 2 pi by your t part of relation. So these are the some of the terminologies you should remember for doing the wave optics chapter. So what is the basic conditions beta? Geometrical optics condition is b square by L into lambda must be very greater than 1. For wave optics, b square by L lambda must be very lesser than 1. I'll do this one in detail, don't bother, but I just write now the condition where lambda is the wavelength of light, b is the size of your object, that object can be the lens, mirror or prism. And next one is about your L is nothing but distance between object and as well as of your screen. If I'm going the relation between the path difference and as well as
Sir,
the wave difference, is beta.
lambda is wavelength of light or wavelength of length?
Wavelength of light ఇది నేను ఓవర్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ లో రాశాను ఇది light. This one is your light. And actually light and run, but by mistake I have written that one. So lambda is your wavelength of light, b is your size of your object, and L must be the distance between object and as well as of your screen. The next one is with small revision of your SHM, that is relation between the path difference and the phase difference, that is delta x and delta phi. When a wave is moving the positive x-axis, we write the equation as y is equal to a into sine omega t minus kx, and y is equal to a into sine omega t plus of your kx. This also we have a derivation in a chapter called as of a sound waves. When I do the chapter, you will get a clarity how this equation has been derived. And another thing from the first year chapter which you know from the SHM is a relation between the path difference and the phase difference. Delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x, or delta phi is equal to 2 pi by capital T into delta t, or phi is equal to k into x, or phi is equal to your omega into t part of relation. So these are some of the terminologies which you should remember, or which you should be having a basic knowledge to understand the chapter of your physical optics part of relation. Is that condition clear from this one? So in this one, let us try to define the first term, that is called as of your wave front. We are considering the light as a dual nature beta. Now here in this one we are considering the light as of a particle nature and trying to study. So in this one we are first trying to define a wave front from a principle called as of your Huygens principle. Huygens principle. Scientist who has been given the knowledge related to your light in the form of your wave. He told that a source of light will send the wavelets in all the possible directions. Whatever the source of light I'm taking right now, this will give the energy in all the directions, positive x-axis, negative y-axis, everything in the form of your small spherical wavefront part of relations. That's what exactly is telling here right now for the given condition. So what exactly is a wavefront is nothing but the locus of all the points which are in the same state of your vibration having a constant phase difference is called as of your wavefront, is called as of your wavefront. Now let us try to understand mathematically. Now see, for example, if I'm taking the ray of light like this is the ray of light, this is your ray of light, a bundle of ray of light I'm taking. So generally in the 10th class, if you might have been drawn the ray of light, a straight line with the arrow mark will be representing me a light. Now this particle consists of your what, n number of your particles, because wave is nothing but of your energy packets in this one part. What is the telling wavefront as per the Huygens? He told that light is nothing but of your combination of n number of your spherical wavefront. Now what is a wavefront means? The locus, this is one locus, this is one locus, this is one locus, this is one locus. The locus of all the points which are in the same state of your vibration and have a constant phase difference is called as of a wavefront. Now what are the points I have taken right now? Drop a perpendicular like this. This makes an angle here right now of 90 degrees with the ray of light. This is called as of your wavefront. This is called as of what? Wavefront. So what is exactly as a wavefront? The locus of all the points which are in the same state of your vibration or of having a constant phase difference is called as of your wavefront. I mean to say a source of light, you can write here, see, a source of light send wavelets in all possible directions. in all possible directions in homogeneous medium. In homogeneous medium. So at any instant, if I can say, at any instant, the locus of all the particles, the locus of all the particles, the locus of all the particles of medium, which are vibrating, in same phase, which are vibrating in your same phase, is called a wavefront. Okay, so what exactly is of your wavefront, beta? A source of light, whatever you are taking right now. So I'll try to draw here right now. Say for example, this is your light. Yeah, this is your source of light. From this one, the ray of light is going in the form of what? Spherical wavefront like this. This is one wavefront. This is one wavefront. This is one wavefront. Something like if you drop a stone in a pond, the wave will be moved. The water molecules will be moving in the form of a wave from one point to another point, making a circular pattern. So the same way, when the light is being taken from the source of light, the light will go in the fronted direction, the form of a spherical wavefront. And what he told that every part of a light, whatever you are taking right now, here there will be another wavefront. There will be another wavefront here right now, and there will be another wavefront of this one, which will be acting as of your secondary source for producing the light in the fronted direction. That means the source which is been producing the light, which is moving the light in the fronted direction, the orange color, the yellow colors, whatever have been drawn, that will be acting as of your secondary source. That means these are the particles which are in the same state of your vibration, having the same phase, are called as of your wavefront particulation. So this I'll try to help you out with the animation, so don't bother about that thing. But just right now understand what you mean by a wavefront particulation. So what is a wavefront, beta? Wavefront, as per the Huygens principle, he told that a source of a light sends the wavelets in all the possible direction in homogeneous medium, and at any instant the locus of all the particles of the medium which are vibrating in the same phase is called as of your wavefront. Or in a simple language, if I need to define a wavefront is nothing but a locus of all the points or all the particles which are in the same state of your vibration, having the same phase, is called as of your wavefront particulation. Now if I'm going for the types of your wavefront right now, types of wavefront. Okay. The first one is your spherical wavefront. Okay, and it is produced by spherical wavefront. It is produced by a point source of light. Okay, now see how is this happening right now. If I take this one as of your point source, the wavelet, whatever we are drawing right now in this one, that will be in the form of what? Spherical parts like this. This is one spherical wavefront. This is one spherical wavefront. This is one spherical wavefront. So like that, a point source will produce the wavefront in the fronted direction. That is one type of your wavefront. The next one is nothing but of your plane wavefront. Second one is nothing but of your plane wavefront. It is produced by, it is also produced by a point source. But when seen from a large distance, we get plane wavefront. Here the source is right now near, and observer is also very nearer to this one. So when observer is very near and seeing the point source, for him the spherical wavefronts will be seen. In the same way, plane wavefront is nothing but it is also produced by the point source only. Like say for example, this is a point source and it is producing the spherical wavefront like this. But if I am at very larger distance, you know that, like say for example, rays coming from the sun. rays coming from the sun. When we are very nearer to the sun part deflection, the rays which have been going out from that point source will be right now for me what? A spherical wavefront. Okay, fine, sure. Okay, now see, if I'm talking about a plane wavefront beta, it is being produced by what? A point source. But when seen from what? Larger distance, we get a plane wavefront. Like say for example, if you're seeing the rays coming from the sun. Actually, the rays which are coming from the sun are in almost or like in 3D dimension, like say in the space. So it is going in the front direction, back direction, up, down, in every direction. But when it is reaching to the earth, when you're standing on the earth and seeing, the rays appears to be coming from this point source in a straight line like this. Another. Now, if I'm taking the source of this one, like say this is one point source, this is one particle, this is one particle, this is one particle, this is one particle, this is one particle. The wavelets which are having the same phase, if I attach all of them, which are the locus of all the points, which are in the same state of a vibration, so that will be called as of your plane wavefront. That will be called as of what? A plane wavefront. Come back once again. So if I'm talking about a wavefront, wavefront is nothing but what? The locus. What do you mean by locus? Everything standing in one straight line. Everything standing in one straight line. The locus of all the particles of a medium which are vibrating in the same phase is called as of your wavefront part deflection. In our syllabus, we have two different types of a wavefronts. The first one is known as of your spherical wavefront, and it is being produced by the point source of a light, and source is very near to that one. When observer is very nearer to the source and is seeing the light coming from that one, it appears to be almost like in the form of your spherical wavefront. That means the rays which are being going in this one will be somewhat like this. All the directions the rays will be going like this. In the plane wavefront, it is also produced by the point source, but when seen from a large distance, we get a plane wavefront. The next one is nothing but of your right now. The third one is right now for me, cylindrical wavefront. Cylindrical wavefront. Something like tube lights. So that type of the slits or that type of a source will always produce me right now a cylindrical wavefront. Like say for example, so this is your source, a small slit, okay, from which the ray of light is being coming like this direction, 3 dimensions light now, all the 3 dimensions. Tube light is called round spherical surface, light is going in all the directions. If my medicine front back, I can't draw here front and back part deflection. I can't draw here front and as well as a fuel. Okay, now see, if I take the locus of all the points which are in the same state of vibration, like this particle, this particle, this particle, and this particle, this particle, this particle, and this particle, and attach them like this, and attach them like this. So we are getting right now what? A cylindrical wavefront. So he is producing a cylindrical wavefront. Slits like objects will produce the cylindrical wavefront. So that are the 3 different types of your wavefronts. You got the idea right now. So in the wave optics, the first definition what you need to remember is about your wavefront. So what is a wavefront? The locus of all the points of the medium which are vibrating in the same phase is called as of your wavefront. If I'm going for the types of a wavefronts in our syllabus, we are having 3 types of the wavefronts. One is known as a spherical wavefront produced by the point source of a light, and when observer is very nearer to the source, if for him the light which has been coming out will be appearing in the form of what? Spherical wavefront. In the plane wavefront, if I am talking about, it is also produced by the point source, but when seen from a larger distance, we get a plane wavefront. Cylindrical wavefront is being produced by the slits like a tube light conditions, and if I take the any point and attach all the locus of the point, we get a cylindrical type of a structure. So that is the reason we are calling them as of your cylindrical wavefront. So cylindrical wavefronts are being produced by what? Slit-like objects, slit-like objects like tube lights, and in the functions also, if you might have been seen any times, you get a tube light in the form of your tube, a small tube part deflection. So such type of your light will always produce me what type of your wavefront? Cylindrical wavefront part deflections. I hope you got an idea related to the wavefront part deflection. So in the single language, I can say that it is the line perpendicular to the ray of light is called as of your wavefront. You see this diagram right now here? Wavefront is nothing but what? For the ray of light. This one is nothing but of your ray of light. This one is your ray of your light. Isn't it? If I draw a perpendicular to that one, locus of all the points which are in the same state of your vibration, that perpendicular is called as of your wavefront part of relation. Let us try to understand this one with the help of some numericals. So we'll get much clarity about the given conditions, how the questions are being framed in this. Like say for example, if I give you a question something like this. Okay, now see for example. First one is, when a ray is being incident on a concave mirror, what type of a wavefront we get? When a plane wavefront is incident on following what will be the nature of wavefront? What will be the nature of your wavefront? Now see this one, first one. Okay, now first one I'm taking it as of your concave mirror. Okay, now see this one, but listen it carefully. This is your concave mirror, this is your principal axis, and it is silvered in the outward direction like this. If it is silvered like this, that is a concave mirror. Now the ray of light which have been coming from this one is something like this. From a very large distance, rays of lights are being incident on this one. Already in the school days you have studied that when object is infinity, this is your center of curvature, this is the pole of your mirror, this will be the focus, isn't it? You know that when the ray of light are being coming from this given condition, they reflect back and they will form a tuber. They will incident at your focus like this. Okay, so this is the reflected rays. Okay, now see here. If I'm taking the condition right now for this one, yeah, this is one point right now here. This is one point. This is one point. This is one point, and this is one point. Locus of all the points which are in the same state of vibration. If I attach all of them like this, this is making an angle of your how much? 90 degrees. So what type of a wavefront this one is? No, plane wavefront. So when a plane wavefront is incident on your concave mirror, this one is your concave mirror, what type of a wavefront we will be getting? Can anyone tell me? See here, if I take one locus here right now, if I take one locus here, if I take one locus here, if I take one locus here, one locus here, attach all of them. So we are getting the wave like this. And if I take one more here, like that, we have trillions types of your particles. I'm taking only one or two to make you understand. This one will be the spherical wavefront like this. So what type of a wavefront we are getting? Spherical. Converging spherical wavefront. So now the question is very clear. When a plane wavefront is being incident on a concave mirror, what type of a wavefront will be getting better? The see right now when it is very nearer to the mirror, the wavefront was larger. As the rays of converging, then the wavefront will also be converging. That is the reason we are calling them as of your converging spherical wavefront part of relation. Is the question clear for everyone? When a plane wavefront is being incident on the following, what will be the nature of the wavefront? So first one answer, how much I'm getting? We are getting a converging spherical wavefront. Converging spherical wavefront. The same way second one. If I'm taking right now convex mirror, okay, so for the convex mirror part of relation, if I'm taking the ray diagram like this, and this one is your principal axis and it is silvered in the inner side. Okay, for this one, the ray of light will be coming like this. Another ray of light will be coming like this. object is somewhere here, right? Very far distance. Now you know that when the ray of light will touches right now for me, a convex mirror. This is your pole of the mirror. This is your focus, and this is your center of curvature. Okay. In a ray of light, whichever is been coming, it will get reflect like this, and here also it will get reflect like this. So this is your reflected ray. And this one are your reflected ray. Now take the locus of all the points which are in the same state of your vibration now. Say for example, this is one particle I'm taking, this is one particle. So if I attach this particle right now, see here right now, what type of a wavefront I'm getting right now, see, attach both of them like this.
Divergent spherical.
Yeah. In the same way, if I'm going right now for here, right now, one more particle, one more particle, one more particle, one more. Attach all of them like this. This particle, this particle, this particle, and this ray coming here, this particle. So what is happening to the wavefront right now? The wavefronts are right now increasing in the backward direction. So we are getting right now, when a plane wavefront is being incident on this one. What type of a wavefront is being incident, beta? If I take this locus, this locus, this locus, and this locus, this will be a plane wavefront. So when a plane wavefront is being incident, we are getting right now what? A diverging spherical wavefront. We're getting a diverging spherical wavefront. See the diagram very carefully. So when a plane wavefront is being incident on your convex mirror, we are getting a diverging spherical wavefront. We are getting a diverging spherical wavefront particulation. The same way, one more if I'm taking, see, we'll get a clarity of this one also. Like say for example, if I'm taking right now, say for example, lens. Let us try to take first one is your convex lens. If I'm taking a convex lens. So this one is your convex lens. This one is your principal axis, and this one is your aperture. Okay, when a ray of light is been coming on this one like this. Okay, so when the ray of light is been coming, one ray very nearer to the principal axis like this, another ray of light very nearer to the principal axis, one more ray of light very far away from this one, like that. In the middle we are having all the rays. I can't draw all of them like this one. Now this is your pole, isn't it? This rays of light will converge and meet somewhere here, right? This ray of light will also converge, and this is also meeting somewhere here right now, isn't it? Now what type of a wavefront we are incidenting on this one, beta? If I take this locus, this locus, this locus, this locus, so this is if I join all of them like this. So this one is right now for me a plane wavefront. When a plane wavefront is being incident on a convex lens, now see here, if I'm taking a wavefront here, if I'm taking a wavefront here, if I'm here, and very nearer to this one right now like this, and attach all of them, so we are getting a wavefront like this, isn't it? So what type of a wavefront we are getting, you see right now? If I see it very carefully, we are getting a wavefronts which are slowly converging and finally reaching at this point. So we are getting what type of a wavefront? We are getting right now again for this one also converging spherical wavefront. He may ask you a question. When a plane wavefront is being incident on a convex lens, what type of a wavefront we are getting? We are getting right now for me what? Converging spherical wavefront. We are getting what? Converging spherical wavefront particulation. The same way, if I'm taking one more convex lens on the Dandrata, we also have right now concave lens. If I ask you, when a plane wavefront has been incident on a concave lens, what type of a wavefront will be getting? What type of a wavefront will be getting right now? So this is your concave lens like this. And this is your principal axis. Okay, when a ray of light is being incident on this one, and this one is your central part, ray of light is being incident on this one, the another ray of light, these are the paraxial rays, the another rays of light which are very near, very far away, they are known as marginal rays. So after incidenting in this one, they will get diverged like this. This ray also will get diverged like this, this also get diverged like this, and this also get diverged like this. So if I'm taking the locus of all the points right now which are in the same state of vibration, if I go on attach them right now, we are getting right now what type of a wavefront, beta? Again we are getting the spherical wavefront, but that will be right now what? Diverging spherical. If I'm taking the locus of all the points here, what type of a wavefront is being incident again on this one? A
Plane
plane
wavefront.
wavefront. So again, when a plane wavefront is incident on your concave lens, we are getting right now a diverging spherical wavefront. Diverging spherical wavefront. Clear for everyone? Okay now?
Yes, sir.
One more example I'll take you. See here. Prism. He may ask you when a plane wavefront is incident on a prism, what type of a wavefront we will be getting? Try to think and give me the answer.
Sir, diverging.
Sure. Think. I'm taking the ray of light on the two extremes better. One is this ray. This touches this point. I'm taking this point as a Fury. The another ray of light, whatever I'm taking, I'll rub this one better. Take with the green light. I'll take the shapes. I'll take the straight line. Like this. So this is the ray of light which has been incident. And another ray of light is been incident on this one like this. And in middle there are how many number of rays? N number of your rays. I'll take one more also in the middle, mean. Okay. This one. Now tell me, who will tell me the locus you see right? So this is the point here right now. This is the point. Exactly opposite to this one, there will be one more point, and exactly opposite to this one, this will be one more point. If I attach all of them right now, what type of a wavefront we are getting right now? A plane wavefront. Got this diagram? So we are getting what type of a wavefront? A plane wavefront. When a plane wavefront is being incident on a prism, incident on a prism. Now if I take the diagrams for this one, this will undergo the refraction like this. This will be the diagram now beta for the prism, isn't it? Because in the absence of this one, the ray of light might have been gone in a straight line, but when it is passing through the prism, slightly it will bend right now here, and it will be going like this. Now take the locus of all the points which are in the same state of your vibration. That will give me the wave part affiliation. So I'll take again red light. So by the time this wave is here right now, exactly opposite to this one is also here, and this one is also here. So this will be your wavefront. Are you finding any difference in these two wavefronts, beta? One is almost like a straight, another is slightly slanted, but both of them are plane wavefront only.
Yes, sir.
Both of them are plane wavefront only, but this one is right now for me slanted plane wavefront. That is a small difference between them. That's it. Okay, now this one is your slanted wavefront. That means on a prism, when a plane wavefront is being incident, we are getting a slanted plane wavefront. Slanted plane wavefronts. Okay, chalo, come back once again. I'll try to revise you faster, whatever I told you. We have been defining the first term in the wave optics. The term which is very important for competitive examination is wavefront. Again has been told that wavefront is nothing but a source of light will always send the wavelets in all the possible directions in a homogeneous medium. At any instant, the locus of all the particles, the locus of your all the particles which are in the same state, the locus of all the particles of your medium which are vibrating in the same phase are called as of your wavefront or called as of your wavefront. We are having three types of a wavefront. One is known as of your spherical wavefront. It is produced by a point source of a light. An observer is very, very nearer to the source. Okay, in the same way, plane wavefront, it is also produced by a point source, but when seen from a larger distance, we get a plane wavefront part affiliation. See here right now, when the ray of light is very larger, draw a line which has been perpendicular to this one. This will make an angle of your 90 degrees. This will make an angle of 90 degrees. So we'll get a plane wavefront. The cylindrical wavefront is being produced by what? A slit, like a cylindrical structures, like tube lights, which are giving the light. It is in the form of what? A cylindrical. So if I join all the points which are in the same state of a vibrations, we are getting a cylindrical wavefront. The next one is, I have taken one small question to make you understand how we are doing the problems related to your understanding the definition of a wavefront. I told you that when a plane wavefront is being incident on following, what will be the nature of your wavefront? The first one is concave mirror. The ray of light with the green line is being incident or been coming from a very large distance. They are parallel. Now if I draw the locus of all the points which are being taken by the sky blue color, that represents you the plane wavefront. You know that when a ray of light is being incident on a concave mirror, after reflection they will be meeting at the focus. So obviously the ray of light is converging. So if I'm taking the locus of all the points which have been converging, we are getting at what type of a wavefront? A converging spherical wavefront. The same way for the convex mirror particulation. For the convex mirror, we know that it is silvered inside. When a ray of light coming parallel, red light is right now here I've taken with a parallel, it gets incident on that one and gets reflected back into the same medium. So when a plane wavefront is being incident on a convex mirror, we are getting a diverging spherical wavefront. Diverging spherical wavefront. The next one is about your convex lens. On a convex lens, whenever a ray of light is being incident on a convex lens, what type of a ray of light? When infinite, when the ray of light is coming from infinity, means that will be parallel. And if you attach all the locus of the points, what type of a wavefront? It will be a plane wavefront. So when a plane wavefront is being incident on a convex lens, again if you see the diagram, all the rays are being converging. So obviously we are getting converging spherical wavefront. The next one is about your concave lens. On your concave lens, when a ray of light is being incident, they are getting diverged. So when a plane wavefront is being incident on a concave lens, we are getting a diverging wavefront. The same way for the prism, if I am talking about right now, when a ray of lights are being incident on a prism, at the lower end and upper end, whatever I'm taking right now, the ray of light will bend from that one and try to move away. Isn't it? Now see what type of a wavefront I'm getting right now. See here right now, we are plane wavefront is being incident. We are also getting again a plane wavefront, but it is slightly slanted. So we call that one as of your slanted wavefront. We call it as of what? A slanted wavefront particulation. Is our condition clear better for everyone? This is only the first two lines of your NCRT which I taught you right now. Literally 2 or 3 lines, not more than. If you open your SC Verma, a wavelet and only 2 lines or 3 lines definition is only the understanding this much you require. Still we have lot of theories. What is a Huygens wave theory? What is a Newton's corpusculus theory? And what they have been thinking about the light? What is a wave nature? What is an electromagnetic spectra? This all we'll try to discuss in the further sections particulation. But as per the Huygens, when we are considering as a wave, we are defining the energy or the light going in the form of a wave in the form of a packet is called as of your wavefront. What is a wavefront? I told you, locus of all the points which are in the same state of your vibration. So this was about your understanding of your wavefront. Let me try to take one more application. This was been asked as a paragraph question for your advanced examination, but for still NEET and the mains also, this may be a direct question right now. The question was something framed like this: when a ray of light was being incident on the medium, like say this one was of your medium, like this. Okay, and yeah, this one is right now. Okay, now what is this actually? See here, this one is your rarer medium and this one is your denser medium. That means this is like say something filled with your water. This was been asked for 8 marks question beta once in the IIT Advanced paragraph ichi. Chaana mandi pillalu aa year lo cheyalekapoyaru because of the not giving much importance to the definition of your wavefront. So that is the reason I am giving you much importance for the definition. See here right now, what is happening is right now, see here, when a ray of light is being incident on this one like this, isn't it? You know that ray of light will try to get refracted. Sorry. Slide gate lipo, isn't it? Now you know that this will be your angle of your incidence, that is nothing but theta ankundam. This will be the angle of refraction, that is nothing but phi. The same way on the other side also, if I'm taking right now, when a ray of light from this one, bundle of ray of light on this one is also incident right now. This one. Okay, then it undergoes the refraction, again it will go into the medium like this. This one is your angle of incidence theta, and this one is nothing but angle of refraction, that is nothing but of your phi. Now ray of light is coming from which medium beta? Rarer medium to denser medium. It is coming from your rarer medium to denser medium. That means this one is air and this one is nothing but of your water. You know that when a ray of light is coming from rarer to denser medium, it will try to bend and move towards the normal. So can anyone tell me what will be the incident wavefront and what will be the refracted wavefront? Someone is asking me the doubt. Let me check it. The PUBG ever? Okay, chalo. See, by the time this ray I'm taking, like say this is A, this one is B, this one is C, this one is D, and this one is E, and this one is F. I'm starting my journey from A. A nunchi B ko ankondi. By the time I'm reaching the B, my wavefront is here right now. Again, same person is starting from C, the wavelength. By the time I'm at B, is the C point reached the D beta? No. That means that point is still in the air somewhere here. So this is the point. So if I attach all of them, we'll get a wavefront like this. So this is your what? Plane wavefront. Plane wavefront. That means here this will be your angle of incidence. So that is nothing but I. Okay. By the time B has reaching to the E, the point, the ABCD, this G I'm taking here, right? This one is G. G might have been reached the D. By the time G is reaching the D, the B might be somewhere here right now. So if I attach all of them right now like this, this will give me the angle of refraction. So this one is known as of your incident plane wavefront. So this one is nothing but of your incident plane wavefront. Incident plane wavefront. Okay, and then the down one, whatever I'm taking right now, this one is right now for me. This one is nothing but right now for me what? Can anyone tell me? Refracted plane wavefront. Isn't it? That means indirectly we just need to draw the diagram that when a ray of light is being given like this is the surface. If this is your angle of incidence I, this will be the angle of refraction R. That's what exactly I mean to say. Otherwise, point under key. This diagram sir, it is very, very important right now. When a ray of light is going from rarer medium to denser medium, we know that it bends towards the normal. Now see, by the time B is striking the surface, the point of the same locus is still in the air. Because in between A and C there are some trillions of your rays. If I join all the locus of the all points, BG is representing me the incident wavefront. By the time B enters into the denser medium, G might be reaching the position of the D, isn't it? So now this D and H. Okay, this HD will represent me what? Refracted plane wavefront. So that is the way how do we draw the diagram for your incident plane wavefront and refracted plane wavefront for the incident when a ray of light is going from the rarer medium to the denser medium. We are having a very good proof by the Huygens principle that we'll try to do in the coming section of your class part of relation. So I hope this is the basic knowledge you need to remember. And the tomorrow section of your class, we'll try to go for the discussion of the derivations of all these relations. How do we got this B square L into lambda conditions right now? Actually that derivation manaku syllabus lo ledu. If it is still required, I'll try to help you out, but that much knowledge is more than enough that we'll try to do in detail in a topic called as of a diffraction. Diffraction we have a clear cut explanation for that one, and before that one we need to understand the relation between path difference and the phase difference part. Then we are defined the wavefront part of relation and different types of your wavefront. And in tomorrow section of your class we'll be trying to go for the discussion of your laws of your reflection and refraction by your Huygens theory, how he was been proving the Snell's law with the help of your wave nature of a light, and how he was getting the same Snell's law whatever we derived in the ray optics part of relation. Okay, beta. So this was about your today's session of your class, and I have recorded this lecture, and after certain interval of a time I'll try to upload it to you and I'll send you on your WhatsApp group, or you can check it out in your what do you call that one, YouTube channel also. From here onwards daily lectures I'll try to upload on your YouTube channel. If you are also missing, you can directly go do and try to what do you call that one, revise the lecture whatever I'm teaching right now. If you have any doubts related to that one, please let me know on the WhatsApp group. I'll try to help you out once again. Okay now?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye beta.
Okay, sir.